There's our Shulchan Yard there, Simon 11 Aleph. We're supposed to be doing Sif Test to Yud Gimel, but we did Sif Test last night, so today we're doing Yud to Yud Gimel. It's actually bar. The mishpacha kamayim treif, that what you said. If it spills like water, then the brain is treif. Zep. That's at the edge of the brain near the membrane. There's water in the middle of the brain. And the brain is missing the amount which is turned to water. If the brain surrounds the water all around, the manner that the water is not covered at all. Low etzem, not to the skull, not even to the membrane. In other words, around in the vicinity of the membrane, the brain is whole and beautiful. Is kosher. If it's revealed, even the water is revealed, even just to the membrane, it's treifa. The subaculi pasei, because then the membrane is eventually going to break apart. That's machshir menikei pkum atachtim. But according to those who say that when only the lower membrane is pierced, the animal still kosher. They have to say that even if it's just revealed, uncovered to the lower membrane, eventually the upper membrane will also break open. But then it's also true the water is in a small bladder, like a bladder. If the brain surrounds the bladder, it's not revealed. I feel like even the membrane kshera. The bladder which has the water has the water. If you topic, we can raise the question. When there's water in the brain, the brain surrounds it on all sides. But the brain has some rot by the membrane. Kosher, without the water, that would have been kosher. In these bars we've seen. But now there's water in the middle. And what makes the water kosher is that it's surrounded by the brain. Is this brain called safeguard for the water? That they won't affect the membrane, or not, because it has some rot. From the language poskim, it seems that only the water is revealed to the membrane. It's treif. But if it's not revealed, it's kosher, even if there's some rot in the brain. Everyone has to consider this further. That the brain is complete on all sides. After you cut the skull and you took out the brain, that's right. You find in the skull a little bit of water. There's no prohibition here. Take this in mind. The main problem with water, because the brain is dissolved, and not something became water. But here we see the brain is complete. Water came from elsewhere. That's the Taz crazy placey. Some people forbid this to soap. Final analysis. Since there's water which is open to the membrane, even when they're between the membrane and the skull, the bottom line is that the membrane has become ruined. It's the Shachar B'Chodesh. It's true if the water is between the membrane and the brain, or between the two membranes. I feel even though the brain is intact, it's treif. To the waters in the bladder, I feel that Rishona, equal to the first opinion. I feel something and treifa. I'm sorry. I feel that Rishona, I feel something glucose treifa. Yeah, right. When the water's in the bladder, even according to the first opinion, that when the brain is whole, it's okay. And even if it's found between the membrane and the skull and not underneath the membrane, it's treif. The Kim Shemel Shalpuchis seems to see in the bladder near the hedgehog, the Mishia Machbos here came from the brain. It's a Taz. Chaim Pasuk Rabbeinu Ramah. Ramah passes away as well. Bracket says this is crazy placey, which they actually evidently pre-Megadim. Shriya Taz, who rules like Taz, Loka B'Mayim B'Vad, Benkum Megogos B'Lin, we found water between the membrane and the skull. Because basically what the crazy placey writes, what the Ingam Benkum Noach, it's also between the membrane and the skull. Kosher, when it's found between the skull, and well, that actually the prima gonium is made between the membrane and the skull. The great space is made between the membrane and the brain. If the brain is complete and intact and beautiful on all sides. Our mother writes, not sure if the water was covered with the brain or not. Strafe, it's strafe. I can't just say that, be careful. Should put some rosh, open the head, you open the waist, you can see if the brain is surrounding, if you find water or not. You don't have to check for this. So you twist the head. Hear no evil, see no, speak no evil. And or sell to a guy, blow up secret without opening up. I can't show. Zeshkas I wrote that he was suffix, even Husim Mark and Lav Trefa, not sure if it's covered with the brain or not. It's Trefa, Huckler, she tells us she becomes in noon. This was like reasoning later on. The question of something behind anytime it's something which arose during the animal's lifetime. Lamin and Shluta, we don't say the Shchita would permit it and establish a Cheskas Kashus. I'm hooking the Mutzer, those who argue on him, it's Mutzer, show me his voice at the Shema, and there it'll be clarified. That would show you don't have to check this. Twist the head without opening up. There was no shortcut, no question which was raised while I was alive. If there was some question raised when it's alive, such as his lifetime, used to shake its head. Evidently comes because there's water in the brain. Obviously, you can't leave without opening up. The garden way it's worse than checking the lung. I'm not sure what it means by worse. I guess more mandatory. It's in that case, the Bach and the Taz. Also with lambs in the summer. Maybe they have water in the head then at that point. You have to check. You can't just say, well, it's don't have to check for it. That's his full short. If he talks about without checking, you should find him. Unless you don't answer, if there's a significant loss, which we do if you don't check the lung, and it says in brackets, Mashal Mitvua Shor or Prima got him as well.